Good. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Broken Man. I am your host, the Redman. We are here Wednesday night. Got a lot of stuff to talk to about. Let's see if we can't turn my mic up a little bit. I got my shit all around. Son of a bitch. Let's see if we can. Yeah. That sounds a little bit weird. There we go. So, the State of the Union as of March 11th, 2026. Trump's term is almost done. Almost done. Texas primary runoff between Paxton and Cornyn is getting just as bad as everybody feared. I mean, it's gotten dog dirty, and it's gonna get dirtier. And I ran. So what are we gonna start with tonight? Well, so far, there's been a lot of fake news with Iran. My volume seems to be weird. Let's see. Maybe that'll help. I'm getting a lot of reverb. I'm still playing with this damn thing. There you go. Maybe that'll work. All right. So it was reported earlier that we dropped a Moab, mother of all bombs. That reporting is false. It is completely false. Apparently, we actually hit an ammunitions dump or supply area, and it went off like a big bomb. And I've been trying to look for the video. There's about 3 or 4 of them out there, but the actual reporting, there's a lot of people out there saying that it was a Moab, and it wasn't. We actually hit a munitions depot, which made it go up looking like a Moab, but it's not what happened. Other things about it is Iran is doing some stupid shit. I mean, really stupid shit. They not only are they attacking Saudi Arabia, not only are they talking Qatar and some of the other places, all their surroundings areas. I'm not exactly sure. Nope. We're all kind of trying to guess what the hell are they doing? What's their strategy in this? Because the leadership, is gone pretty much. The new current, supreme leader apparently is reporting he's in a coma. Not sure if that's true or not. That's just what's kind of being said in Iran through different sources, but it's still not really been confirmed. And the leader and, the military guys out there are just willy-nilly it. I don't know. But they actually attacked like 4 or 5 areas, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. They're pissing people off. Now, the yeah, I know my voice is off. I'm trying to figure it out. Let's try it. Let me see if that works. No, it doesn't work either. Let me try that. Let me try that too. Maybe that'll work. That's not doing anything. Maybe that'll work. They're making a lot of people in the area scratch their heads trying to figure out why are they attacking their neighbors. And I think my opinion is that they were thinking that they were going to try and make it a hardship on them for them meaning the surrounding countries to blame it on the US. And instead they're actually coming to the US going, help us, give us arms, give us, munitions. And now they're talking about actual attacking Iran. So it's backfiring like you wouldn't believe. I mean, big time. Now, the one other theory that I do prescribe to is the U.S. is pretty much telling them, stand down. Don't retaliate yet. We'll let you know when we're ready for you to retaliate, because both that'll screw up our operations and Israel's operations in our target areas that we're hitting. This is one of the things that I think that people don't understand is we're getting a lot more help in that area from the surrounding countries, Saudi, again, UAE, Qatar, and it is, you got Oman, Yemen. They even attacked Pakistan, and Pakistan's pissed. It's really stupid what they're doing. They've attacked Jordan. They are attacking, some areas in Syria, but mostly that's because of the Hamas that's in the area. Now, one other thing that they're trying to do is, major trying to block the Strait of Hormuz, and that's not going to work because we've just completely decimated their navy, and we're going through there, and Trump actually said, hey, we're actually gonna escort you through. So that'll be coming in the next. If it doesn't happen at this week, it'll start happening next week. And there's some tankers that are actually going. And the funny thing is, I read a report earlier where Iran actually destroyed one of their oil tankers. It was, it was in their waters, so it didn't do them any good. It didn't, it wasn't like it was going to, block the whole, straight off or anything like that. So we're, they're fucking up big time. A lot of attacks went on this afternoon, which is their morning. One of the things that Trump did talk about, as well as the Israelis have actually shown, is the where's it at? Let me see here. This one right here. So this is an actual video of the quote-unquote laser that they've deployed to take down incoming missiles and drones. Uh, and as you can see, the cost of the Joan Iron Dome interceptor is $50,000 per missile. The beam shot is like, I think it's like, yeah, $3.50. It is unbelievable. And just watching that constantly. I mean, I've been watching this video, and there's several of them out there, and this is not AI. It's actually been verified. They've been shooting these down left and right with these lasers. It's spectacular to actually watch this stuff. Iran keeps putting out propaganda. Just step foot on our soil, and we're gonna show you. U.S. ain't gonna step a single boat on the ground. Maybe CIA, maybe special forces, targeted attacks, stuff like that, but nothing like what it was with Iraq or Afghanistan. This is going to be completely, and this is my thinking. Is you've got where's it at? You've got middle. So you got Iran right here, okay? And they're attacking all in this area. They're attacking Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Oman. They've actually hit some Yemen stuff too. They were trying to hit a little bit of Cyprus right here, which pissed off Turkey. So the only thing that they really have right now that is, is the Syria area. I mean, they've tried to hit Jordan. They're cutting all of their stuff off. So you got this entire area, Syria, Iraq, the northern Kurds. You've got Kuwait. You got Saudi Arabia. You've got UAE, Oman, Abu Dhabi. All these people are getting pissed. These are the people who are going to be putting boots on the ground. It ain't going to be the U.S. Now, the one thing that, is funny is you got Pakistan, you got Afghanistan right here. Those two haven't really seen any just because they're further away. But Pakistan is going to get pissed here in a bit because they rely a lot on the oil that's coming through. So Iran's strategy has not been a smart strategy. And like, President Trump said, they're fighting a war. We're just, it's an operation. It really is an operation, and that's what it is. Unfortunately for Trump, he's got about another 6 weeks, tops. And when I mean tops, I mean tops. Because if you filled up your gas in the last 3 days, it's gone up at least 75 cents per gallon. Now, in the short term, it's not going to affect us. I mean, it'll affect you now. It's going to hurt your pocketbook right now. I'm not going to deny that. I filled it up today, so I understand. But we can, and the American people, the majority of us is going to stomach that 4 to 6 weeks. But once it starts hitting into May and early June, that's when the Senate and the House start campaigning. That's when they actually start going full bore in the off election year, and it's going to get brutal if those prices of gasoline doesn't go down, because like, if you know anything, when the price of gas goes up, everything else goes up. And at the very beginning of Trump's term, it was price of eggs, price of bread, price of household items, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was talking about price of eggs, price of eggs, price of eggs. That was cost of transportation and feed, which transportation, he's got 4 to 6 weeks to get this turned around as far as the oil prices go. If the oil prices start coming down the next 2 weeks, he'll be fine. But if it keeps going up and up and up, or if it stays above, if it gets close to $4 in the southern areas of the U.S., because the northern areas are usually about anywhere from $1.50 to $2 to $3 higher than the southern areas of the U.S., he's going to hurt. Okay, I'm not worried about California because they're used to paying $10 a gallon. But the majority of the U.S. is not. So right now they've been enjoying, sub 250 gallon ranges and getting close to $2 a gallon range. I mean, just during, I think before he started this, he was quoting $1.98 a gallon in some places, which is true. But at the same time, that was short-lived. And the one thing that impacts everybody's pocketbook in the U.S. is the cost of gas, cost of fuel. And it doesn't matter who you are, left, right, center, donkey, elephant, doesn't really matter. Once your pocketbook starts hurting and it starts pinching, your opinion starts to change. And he has got, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks to get this changed, or you can kiss the midterms goodbye completely. Which leads me to, the rest of his presidency. Trump is done. Trump is done. He has absolutely no way of passing the SAVE Act. The art of the deal guy is not going to get this through because he's dealing with a handful of rhinos and a handful of Republicans who just refuse to do anything that's going to better the election process. Now you've got people on the left saying, "What are you talking about? Our election system is, it's clean, it's good, and stuff like that." And you have people on the right who are saying, it's not, it's broken. We've got examples of both. Both sides have broken this system so bad that one year they think it's broken, the next year it's fine. It's perfectly good. I mean, you look at, 2016 election, Hillary Clinton claimed it was broken. 2020, Trump said it was broken. 2024, luckily, really didn't come out because everybody knew what was going to happen. So there wasn't really any type of thing. There wasn't anybody really actually looking into the 2024. Because Trump won. And so he wasn't going to look at it either, even though he should have, because it probably could have built his case for 2020 interference. But because he won, he was like, we're just going to say, 2020 was bad and 2024 was, we made it so big, which he did. But at the same time, he still should have looked at 2024 because I'm sure there was just as much, if not more, shenanigans. Let's just call them that, shenanigans. And it's coming out more and more. 2020, there's lots of shenanigans that they're finding out that, is coming to light. But with that, and the Save America Act is showing exactly what everybody has been saying for quite a few years, um, is the majority, and when I mean the majority, uh, the hell, that didn't bring it up. What was the poll on? Polls show 84% of Americans support for photo ID voting. 84%. Now, I know that, there's a lot of people out there who is like, well, this, that, or whatever. And they can, they can give the excuses of, oh, it's gonna make people not vote because they're elderly and they can't get their birth certificate, or, it's harder to get a birth certificate or ID if you get married, and so you have to show all that paperwork. But at the same time, right now, between 75 and 85% of the U.S. citizens want this passed, want some form of security for our voting system secured. And you got the entire Democratic Party against it, and you've got a handful of Republicans against it. What does that tell you? Well, that tells you is that as far as Democrats go, they're not listening to the people that voted them in. They're not. And the people that voted them in aren't being as boisterous on this as the Republican side is. But at the same time, they still care about it. They still care about it. And the Trump administration isn't taking that case to the people. I mean, to be completely honest with you, he should be out there on a weekly basis. And I know he's got a war he's got to conduct, so he's got to, he's juggling some things, so I get that. But at the same time, it's also one of those things where he needs to be out there on a daily basis, pushing this daily and showing everybody, he needs to look at, he needs to look at New Hampshire. Okay, how many people polled in New Hampshire once this passed? And he needs to go to New Hampshire. Look, your Democratic senator is ignoring what you want on this. You might not like me. You might not like what I say. But the guy you voted in is only blocking this because he doesn't like me. That's stupid. Go to California. They like it. Majority of them want it. You can go to, Louisiana. You can go to Illinois. You can go to Ohio, Idaho, Washington. When you've got 75 to 85% of the American voting public wanting this passed in some form, it might not be exactly what Trump wants, but in some form of secure type of voter registration ID, you've got at least 52% of your elected officials in the Senate who are ignoring what the populace want. It's a power play. It is complete and total power play. They don't like Trump, and so they're not going to vote for anything Trump passes or pushes. They're not. And that's stupid. That is just plain ignorance on everybody's part. When you can see, when you have a majority, a super majority of the U.S. citizens telling you, yes, this is what we want, and they still, your politicians that you voted for, still cannot come into some sort of agreement on this, when they're not even going to even come close to it, and they're trying to make a bullshit argument that it's Jim Crow 2.0 or bullshit like that, or they're saying that, there are people out there who just can't figure out how to get a fucking ID or can't, figure out how to do this. You got 52% of the Senate telling you you're a fucking dumbass. They're telling you they know better than you. How in the hell can we sit back and go, well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't like Trump? I mean, you got his MAGA base. His MAGA base is pushing. And they're going to push because it's MAGA, because they want Trump to succeed. Okay? But what shocks the hell out of me is when you've got another 38%, if that, maybe more, okay, of Democrats who want this as well. A majority of Democrats want this, because you have to understand, you've got, you got 33, maybe, 40% Democrat, 40% Republican, and the rest are mixed in between, right? Okay? You can't tell me that it's just independents and Republicans who want this. You can't. And yet they're going to ignore, because independents vote for Democrats just as much as they do Republicans. And that's who gets them elected on both sides. Independents get both sides elected. It's just a matter of what the message is and what the plan is. The independents are the ones who always push the other party over the line. Always has. And until we change the system, always will be. So what's going to happen is, if Trump doesn't get this passed, which he won't, he's got two options. He'll be a lame duck. He's not going to get any part of his agenda for the rest of his term. He'll be a lame duck. And he's got two choices. He can negotiate, or he can get pissed. And right now, he has been showing everybody he's going to get pissed. And all he has to do, and he's already said it, I ain't signing a damn thing until this is passed. Period. The end. And there's not enough votes in the system to pass anything, because you got to have a supermajority to overturn a veto. And you know damn well that in 2028, there isn't going to be a single Republican that's going to run that's going to switch side, except for the handful of them that are already doing so, that are already being primaried this year in 2028. So he can grasp this country by the balls for the next 3 years and go, not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen until this gets passed the way I want it. Now, a lot of people are saying, yeah, he ain't going to do it. He's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. Oh, what about the future of the country? This is what he's fighting for, is his idea of the future of the country. And if he thinks this right here is the most important thing that he can pass legislatively for the country, this is a hill that he can die on. And I guarantee you, he might have the balls to do it. He really might have the balls to do it. And there's been one other person in my lifetime history who had the balls to do it. And when Newt Gingrich shut down the government with Bill Clinton and forced Bill Clinton to sign the budget to where we were the tax bill to where we were able to balance our budget that year, he had Clinton by the balls. Nothing else is going to happen until this gets passed. Period. The end. Trump can do the same thing. And he'll go down in history, but nothing else will be done. Nothing else will be done. Now, I honestly think for the betterment of the country, I think he should do that. I think he should be like, no, this is it. This is the hill I'm going to die on. Because I can do international shit all day long. I can make deals, and I can throw up pacts, and I can I'll solve all these wars, and I'll do all this shit while you guys sit here in turmoil and you lose your voter base. Because I ain't going to pass the fucking budget bill. Ain't going to sign it. Now, they can supermajority it, but there's a lot that goes into that. Oh, the government shut down. Pass the bill. Pass the SAVE Act, and I'll pass the bill. I'll sign the SAVE Act, and then I'll sign the budget. And it'll be on both people's problems. And Trump, again, he's got nothing to lose. He really has nothing to lose. Now, once that's signed, game will be different. Game will be a lot different. Democrats have a lot to lose. The Republicans have a lot to lose on both sides. And you know damn well, even if he held out for 2028 and nothing gets done, I mean, this country just goes straight stark. How bad is that for us? Well, I mean, it's going to be bad for some people. It's going to be bad for a lot of people. No doubt about it. It really will. But how long would that last? How long will that last? I think it took Bill Clinton about 2.5 months, if I remember correctly. I think I read that the other day. Newt Gingrich. Yeah, 1995. Government shut down. 21 days. 21 days. Now, it was a spectacular win for Clinton, as public opinion blamed the Republicans and Newt Gingrich for shutting that bill down, for shutting the government down. But Gingrich got his bill passed. Gingrich died on that hill. His career was over after that. But he got that bill passed. People forget that. Trump can do the same thing. And then he can go like 2028's up for grabs, guys. Marco, J.D. Vance, Newsom, Kamala, Shapiro, anybody, right? Go for it. But this got passed. I hope he's got the balls to do it. I really do hope he's got the balls to do it. Because I think one of the things that would be fantastic, it would be unheard of, is if you had an actual president who would actually stand up to the establishment and actually get something productive passed. And this is one of the few bills that could do it. Now, again, it would cause one of two things. It would cause the Senate, Democrats and Republicans, start working together and actually compromise on many different levels and many different bills to get him passed to override his veto. It could happen. Which would then cause the country to kind of come back together again a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Or Trump gets what he wants quicker, which would then be able to move him into other things that he's able to do. Regardless of whether he wins or loses the midterms. Which I think right now he's on the track of losing. I'm just saying. Which brings us into Texas. Oh, my Lord. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton are sniping like they're frickin' teenagers. It is hilarious. I mean, when I mean hilarious, I mean online sniping is fun to watch. Online, picking at each other is fun to watch. But the fact that this is one of the first time it's been this much on display is hilarious. I mean, they are going back and forth, left and right, all day today, all day yesterday. It was fun. It's been fun to watch, because both of them are looking for the Trump gift. This was done all day today. Ken started off somewhere in D.C. and this was, it was yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. Ken Paxton, staging center, correct verbiage, attack leadership to appear based while not actually, upsetting anyone. Cornyn comes back and predicted, blah, blah, blah. Ken Paxton then came back and he was like, I made him more conservative in a week than he did in 24 years. John Cornyn came back with a little snipe. And it's just been going back and forth, vying for Trump's approval, vying for Trump to go, I endorse you. I choose you, Pikachu. That's the funny thing about this. That I don't know if Trump's actually going to endorse anybody at this point in time, unless he gets the SAVE Act, and he's offered that, and so has Ken, and it still hasn't gotten done. So both of them know the SAVE Act is not in play when it comes to the Texas runoff for the Senate. And the Democrats think, oh my God, this is great for us because our little dude, who is sitting in the wings is going to turn Texas blue. They're mistaking what this little beef between these two guys are doing. Is bringing attention to Texas politics. And I don't think people understand how more red Texas has gotten since the last election. When Trump closed down that border, he won so many districts. He won them during the election, and when he actually did what he said he was going to do, he solidified those areas. I'm telling you right now, they don't understand Texas politics. And these two guys, John Cornyn is going to spend a lot of freaking money to try and kick Paxton out. I'm not saying Paxton's, he's not, the dream child that a lot of Texans are claiming that he is. But at the same time, Texans are tired. They're tired of Conran. And they're tired of his voting record. And they're tired of him constantly, flip-flopping. And they're tired of this shit. And Ken is a fresh face. And he's a Texas face. And Texans are more familiar with him than they are with John Conran. Conran hasn't been in the mix of Texas for, I'm going to say, at least 2016, to be honest with you. And when Ken decided to run against him, Ken's a big name in the state of Texas. And a big name in the Trump hemisphere. And so I do believe that this is probably going to be one of the things that, John Conran is going to lose the race. He's going to get kicked out of the Senate. He's going to lose. The only way he's going to win is if Ken steps down. And at this point in time, since the SAVE Act hasn't been passed, Ken ain't going to step down. He's just not. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to realize this is not going to be a race we're going to spend our money on anymore. Guarantee it. The donors, the big funds, and stuff like that are going to wipe their hands clean and go, y'all two do it. We'll wait. We'll wait for the generals. We'll wait for November. We're not going to do a runoff. We're not going to do a runoff money splash. That's my guess. That's my prediction. It'll be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Either way. As we did the other night, we are going to look and see exactly what are the Google Trends over the last 24 hours. And now this is the top searched items. I'm just looking over here. Not a damn thing about politics or Iran at all. It's kind of funny that Mexico versus Italy in baseball, I mean, that's a huge search. Mexico and Italy, same thing. Venezuela and Dominican, this World Baseball thing is really going. Real Madrid and Manchester, well, that makes sense. Striker cyber attack, that's a new one. Iran expands war with major cyber attack against U.S. company. Okay, well, there you go. Something to do with Iran. Something to do with what's going on. PSG versus Chelsea. Love is Blind reunion. I mean, Iran, California. Oh. So we got two. We have two. All right, that's more than we have over the last 5 days. That's actually pretty good. That means that, things are actually happening over here for us to actually pay attention. So, I have to go to the restroom, so I'm going to put it on pause for a second, and I will be right back. I'm back. Had to pet my dog. It was needing attention. So, one of the things I wanted to throw at that we were talking about with the John Conran thing, which was hilarious. Let me see if I can find it. Son of a bitch. What do I do with it? Yeah, so John Conran decided he was going to, he was asked about this today because he's getting a lot of pressure on the SAVE Act. I mean, a lot of pressure on the SAVE Act. And this happened today.
Previously said that nuking the filibuster would be taking a wrecking ball to Senate rules. Is that no longer true?
I said I'd be open to reforms.
What would you say to those who say you just changed your mind to win the president's endorsement?
I'd say that's not true.
You also said that if
I think we're through. Go ahead. Go away.
Thank you.
Damn, dude. Damn. That looks bad. That looks bad. And the reason why it looks bad is because he got pressured into a situation and he knows he's in a bad bind. Yeah. Ouch, dude. That is definitely not one of the things that, you want to be doing when you're running, in a runoff and the person who's running against you is throwing the SAVE Act in your face, and you're starting to show you have no leverage. If you don't have leverage and you claim, and you've got the speaker or the Senate leader trying to pressure the president to endorse you, and you do that for the thing that the guy that you want to endorse you to do, how in the hell do you think you're going to get reelected? This guy he needs to go. He needs to go. And again, this is not me being anything other than this shows you the corruption. This shows you the deep state. This shows you how bad the entrenched old guard is. I'm 54 years old. And I'm telling you, Trump has made it apparent how corrupt our legislative system is. He's shown how corrupt the Congress is. He has shown how corrupt the Senate is. He's shown how corrupt the agencies, FBI, CIA, DOJ, FDA, all the three-letter agencies, how corrupt and manipulative they are. And they can't hide it anymore because new media is what's exposing them. The old vanguard is not able to throw out a narrative anymore and have a lot of people blindly follow that. Now, it did start back in, when Fox first came about, Fox News, and they gave a counter narrative to CNN and MSNBC and NBC, ABC, CBS, okay? They gave a counter narrative, which is why their viewership has grown and grown and grown and grown to a point to where they dominate the ratings. But at the same time, those CNN particularly, and the old newspaper, the Washington Times, New York Times, Washington Post, the Guardian, all those things have lost their grip upon the information that we get. And now a lot of people get a lot of their information from several different sources. You've got X, you've got Reddit, you've got Facebook, you've got, TikTok, you've got, YouTube, you've got all these different things, and you've got all these different outlets that you can get different information from and different viewpoints from. And now with AI, you can type in a search. Is this true? Grok will pull you up. Well, yes, it is, and no, it's not. Or yes, because of this. No, because of this. They don't have the stranglehold on information anymore. And so the old guard is losing their grasp on what was and was not. Back in the day, all you had was AM radio. You had Rush Limbaugh. You had the few shows that were on the radio on AM radio. When Sean Hannity was on AM radio. I don't know if he still is or not, because I haven't listened to AM radio in years. Why? Because I've got different podcasts I can watch, right? Same thing. Once Rush passed, rest his soul, AM radio, it's not that it's not there. It's just not there politically like it once was. Same way with CNN, same way with Fox, same way with, all the other networks. People are able to take information from so many different sources and come to their own conclusions. Now, if you don't pay attention to that stuff, if you're not in this world that I am in and able to, pull and grab and stuff like that I have been into, yeah. And again, I showed it earlier with the Google Trends. Google Trends are showing you what people are actually interested in a 24, 8, and 4 hour interest. Over the last 5 days I've shown it. Tonight was the first time where anything was mentioned of Iran or of what was going on in the Middle East. It was all sports. 90% of it was sports. The other 10% was entertainment of some sort. That was the top 10 search. And that's Google Trends, which is the still number one search engine in the world, especially in the U.S. So that tells you there's a majority of people who do not give a crap about what we're talking about. But those who do are the ones who are pushing this, and you still can get those information. And when you see something like that, to where back in the day, I guarantee you, back in the day, this would not have been seen. We would not have seen this.
Said that nuking the filibuster would be taking
It would have been a
wrecking ball to
10-second.
rules.
It would have been maybe a 10-second blip.
I said I'd be
If
open to
that.
reforms.
What would you say
You
to
might have
those who
heard it on
say
Rush
you just changed your mind
Limbaugh.
to
You
win
might
the
have heard
president's
it on
endorsement?
a radio show or something like that.
Say,
But this clip right here has gotten a lot more views and been retweeted, several times, especially in Texas, and over again. That's the thing about it is, and this is something that, the major media sources are really, really still having a hard time understanding and having a hard time realizing that their day in the sunlight is done or is coming close. Their relevance is becoming so small that we're able to take all the information that we get from so many different sources. Again, X, Reddit, all your different sources that you can find. Yeah, I know Reddit, a lot of people don't like Reddit. I like Reddit just because, it gives me the other point of view. And you can find some stupid ass people on there. You can find stupid people on X too, but mostly X gives you, is an algorithm that feeds you what you like to watch and stuff like that. So I have to purposely search for something opposite. Or Reddit, you just get inundated with everything that you don't like. Just completely. If you're on this side of the aisle. Does that make sense? It's bad, and it's going to get worse. And I think Trump is going to have a very hard time in the midterms because he's either going to have to choose to die on the Save America Act deal. That's going to have to be his hill. Because if he caves on this, he's going to lose so much support. The Epstein files, don't get me wrong. That's a bunch of bullshit. And when I say it's a bunch of bullshit, I'm not saying that there's not something there, but there's not a smoking gun there, They haven't found that thing, okay? And people will throw that up every once in a while just because they want clicks and they want this and that and stuff like that, and I get that. That's what we do, right? But at the same time, if you've noticed, nobody's talking about it. I mean, they'll throw it out there. Oh, what about Epstein files? What about the Epstein files? Okay. His name was in there 3,000 times. Okay. So was Joe Smith, who was cleaning the fucking toilets. Seriously. There's a dude in there, his name, I don't know how many times, and he was a fucking janitor. So it's one of those things where he's going to have to choose to either die on this hill or give up the midterms and 2028. He is. He's gonna have to do that. And I hope to God, I hope and pray that this is the hill that he dies on. I hope he stands up to every Republican senator and every Republican congressman and say, nothing gets done unless you supermajority me, because I ain't signing shit. If he is true to his convictions, he will go down as one of the greatest presidents, not because of all of his accomplishments. I'm not going to tout all that shit and stuff like that. Historically, he will go down as one of the great ones, one of the most memorable ones. We're talking up there with Reagan and Lincoln and Washington, okay? Because of that action right there. But if he doesn't, if he caves, he'll be remembered in history. He will. But he'll be known more for his controversy than for his accomplishments. We've already seen that. We've already seen all the accomplishments that he actually has done that are forgotten or twisted. I mean, in my lifetime, I don't think I would have ever seen no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. That's thinking outside the box. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, but we did. But that's going to get forgotten, and it's going to get swept under the rug in the next tax code. But the Save America Act, the Voter ID Act, if he stands on that principle, he can focus on international all day long. He can be like, I am done with this. Until that's passed, I'll focus on this. And I'll go blow up everybody who's an enemy of mine. And they're not going to take that away from me because this is American defense. The U.S. will not stand for us to be without arms. We won't. We're not that dumb. We're not that stupid. I pray and I hope. But I guarantee you, it will, if he stands on that, he'll go down. But if he caves, he'll give every single person who's been against him so much fire for the fodder, it'll be beyond control. Because he can be tried for impeachment all day long. He's not going to get impeached. He'll get impeached maybe, but he's not going to be convicted and he's not going to get thrown out because there's not enough votes to do so. And if he does, what do you got then? You got J.D. Vance, which is 3 steps behind him. Then what are you going to get? The same damn shit. And you'll get him for a second term possibly, if he's able to turn things around. I don't know. You tell me. I'd like to know. I'd like to know your thoughts. I'd like to know if I'm wrong. I'd like to know if I am far outfield. I would love to know if you think that I am just, missing this beat. But I've been watching this for a long time. Every administration from Reagan. And I'm telling you right now, this is by far, we always knew that the Congress was corrupt. We always knew that they pandered. We always knew. There are so many movies and there's so many books about that. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is about that, and that was done in the 50s or 60s. 50s or 60s, something like that. And it was about that. It was about this same type of shit. In the 80s with Eddie Murphy going to Congress. Same type of scenario. Displayed how much corruption there was in there. So it's not like we didn't know. It was about as bad as we knew that John down the street was gay and he just didn't come out of the closet back in the 80s. But now he can and he's married. It really wasn't that big of a surprise. And it's not that big of a surprise right now. And everybody can clutch their pearls. They can go, oh my God, at the same time. At no point in time can anybody really say, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that our government was corrupt. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, there's a handful. A handful. And when I mean a handful, I'm thinking maybe 4. Maybe 4 who have any integrity and scruples. Maybe 4. Maybe. Out of the entire Congress and the entire Senate. Maybe 4. And you can add Trump on there. And I'm not going to say that he's not scrupulous. Because I don't think he has a whole lot of scruples. But he can't be bought. He can't be bought. Sorry to say, he can't be bought. People try. People blame him. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him being bought. I'm seeing him use the leverages that he has and the things that he's able to do to get things accomplished that he wants done. But I don't think he's been bought. Because I don't think he needs to be bought. We'll see. Again, tell me what you think. It'll be interesting because if the SAVE Act doesn't get passed, Trump's got 2 choices. Sit as a lame duck or die on that hill and change history. I don't know. I just think I think it's going to be interesting how it happens because there's really no other race. There's no other race that anybody's talking about, really, besides the Texas race right now. Because they're still trying to push that SAVE Act. I know John Conron's not going to do it. I can tell you right now he's not going to do it. I mean, if push comes to shove, yeah, he'll do this. He'll do this. That's what he's going to do. He's going to hold his nose and he's going to push yes. Because he knows that's the only chance he's going to get elected. Bethune's not going to put it forward. He has no reason to put it forward. He has no reason to. He's the leader of Senate, of the Senate majority. He has no reason to. The only way he would actually do that, and it's not going to happen right now, is if he gets forced out right now, and there's not enough votes. Because Democrats, Republicans will keep him. There's not enough votes out there to kick him out. There's not. It's not like the House of Representatives. The Senate is a completely different thing. So you can kiss this administration's policies goodbye. You can. And it's up to Trump to make sure that he actually holds that nuclear option. And his nuclear option is ain't signing anything. How wonderful would that be? I mean, think about it. If you got a president who is like, yeah, y'all can pound sand. I'm gonna go bomb Iran some more while you guys decide. Until then, pound sand. Oh, you want Medicaid? You want Medicaid and Medicare fixed? Oh, that's a great idea. Pound sand. Pound sand. I want my Save America Act, passed. Oh, Social Security needs fixed. Yeah. Oh, you have a great idea. That's a great idea. Pound sand. Chuck rocks, buddy. Where's the Save America Act? How amazing would that be if he actually showed the balls? If he actually showed the balls to do that. That would be, above all, probably one of the greatest stances an American president in history would have held, besides Washington and Abraham. And it would be right there with Reagan. Right there. I don't think he'll do it, to be honest with you. But that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So regardless, I've been yapping. And now it's time for me to feed my dogs, kiss my wife, kiss my daughter, and say goodnight because I have work in the morning. So to everybody out there, y'all have a good night. God bless. And I'll see you. If not tomorrow, Friday. Have a good evening.